Hey guys, it's Bogey inside Motus Real Estate, brokered by eXp Realty, and today we're going to be sitting down with Sam Hillery and Tony Tran, ready to talk some real estate, what's on the come up in the area, and of course, what you should be looking for if you are a first-time home buyer. Should be an exciting day. Stick around.
We all work really, really hard to make sure that we bring our best for our clients every single day.
Hey guys, it's Bogey inside Motus Real Estate, powered by eXp Realty, and I am here with a couple of fantastic realtors. We're actually going to talk to Sam Hillery and Tony Tran. Guys, how you doing today?
Good.
All right, I wanted to start with, let's break down the Red Wings rebuild, okay? And really get into that. I know that's your expertise.
It's definitely not my expertise.
Should Jeff Blashill be fired right now? Is that something? No, we're not going to do that.
Comment on that because I don't want people to go after me.
Let's stick to real estate, all right? I'll stick to sports on that. Okay, I want to start just by kind of getting a brief overview of why you guys got into real estate. What was the motivation, and I guess how long you've been at it. We can start with you, Sam.
Yeah, so I've been in real estate for 3 years, and then I became a realtor about a year ago. Previously, I was just talking on the phone and warming everybody up for these guys, and so that's kind of why I got into it. But I really just like people and I like houses. So instead of just being like creepy and, you know, like on all the websites looking at kitchens, I figured why don't I take people and actually like feel and see the kitchens myself.
Who hasn't gone to like a really expensive neighborhood and just driven around?
Right.
And just been like, I want that one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do it all the time.
So it's really a real life thing for you too.
Yeah.
It's a genuine interest.
Yeah, I like houses and I like helping people find good houses. It's kind of like a weird, I get like a weird high from when someone tells me like, you're not gonna find me this house because I want all of these specific things. And then when I go and find it, it's kind of like, I don't know, I get super excited and it's like, I told you so, I told you I would find you that house.
Tony, for you, I guess how long have you been doing this and what motivated you to do something like this?
So I've been in it 4.5 years. Honestly, it just fell in my lap. So I was helping my girlfriend find an apartment, and I was helping her brother, her family look for apartments. And you know, they naturally said, you should look into getting into real estate. And what was funny is like internally, I was already built to be, in my mind, a realtor because I moved 20 times from 5 years old to 20. So I sat in the back of cars with realtors all the time, taking naps, so that it was already there. And I just had no idea until my girlfriend and her family were like, you should really get into it. And
well, I am now. When you move that amount of times, you're probably doing a lot of different types of houses too,
exactly,
in different areas, neighborhoods, states. I mean, you basically
it was all literally in the Metro Detroit area. So we had a house fire. Yeah, we had a house fire. So we constantly had to move. We had a contractor. So I kind of went through all that stuff when I was like 5 years old.
How has that, just to kind of stay on that for now, how has that kind of changed or shaped how you go about the process now? Because clearly you went through a pretty, traumatic experience. I think a lot of homeowners worry about things like that. Do you do more of a vetting process just because you know if you don't hire the right person, it can go bad?
Right, so I make sure I have a good network of inspectors, and I already do it at the pre-showing or at the showing with the buyers. So everything that I've learned, I've done over 200 inspections. So I'm pretty much educated from all our inspectors to kind of know what to point out and tell them like, you're looking at like $10,000, $20,000 and put it in your first year, and a lot of buyers are like, nope, let's go to the next one. And I think that's what makes us credible, is being able to point those issues out.
All right, so we're here inside Motus, and this is, one of, many realtors, real estate, companies in the area. But what separates Motus from, everybody else, and why, if customers, somebody picks up the phone, somebody's looking for a house, why should they call either of you two? Or Motus in general?
Yeah, I think one, we're professionals and we're great negotiators first and foremost. That's super fun to get to negotiate a deal for someone. We all trained each other and we all bring something different. So there's kind of like a flavor of coffee for everyone on our team.
I love coffee.
Yeah, so if you're looking for someone who understands what it's like to be a mom, we've got that on our team. If you're looking for someone who is looking to, wants to know about different scenes in different neighborhoods, we're all spread out all through, Oakland and Wayne County and Macomb, so we know all the areas, we know the good places to get coffee, the best places to get donuts, and we can kind of help introduce you to that community.
It's funny too, like the stages of, I guess, the home buying experience, renting, owning, and all of that. Life basically just comes, like at a certain point, you're young, you don't make much money, you're single probably, you know, you're trying to get a smaller space, you're trying to live in an area where it's maybe a little bit busier. Once you get older, maybe you're looking for a family environment, you know, a safer neighborhood, you know, something like that. I guess that kind of shapes, I would assume, how you go about, well, what's a match for you, 23-year-old, versus you, 35, married with child?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's also, we talk about with people how long they're gonna be in a house. So if somebody's young and they're thinking 3 to 5 years, I wanna make sure that they're gonna be able to build a ton of equity. So when they come back to me in 3 to 5 years, we can buy that big family house with all the storage to put all that baby crap.
Apparently it builds up.
It does.
From what I understand. I guess in your words, what makes Motus stand out? Why should
I think, like as we talked about earlier, like inspections, being able to point out those things and like taking the care to make sure that we treat them like they're our family. Like we don't want to hear back from you with a problem. We want to hear good things. We don't want you to like, oh, my basement flooded. I've only been here for 1 month. We don't want to hear that. So if we take those proper steps beforehand, the relationship is that much stronger and long-lasting forever.
I don't want a flooded basement either. That's very good. Every single night, anytime it rains, I'm always worried. I'm always going downstairs and checking the basement.
We're the same way because we got to think about all our clients out here with, you know,
100%.
2014. So we're always worried whenever there's heavy downpour. So. Yeah.
Social media obviously has changed a lot of not just this industry, but you know, industries all over the place. How, I guess, has that affected you guys, and how are you almost maybe forward thinking, whether it's you individually or, you know, with Motus as a whole?
I think that now people want to work with people that they like, and the easiest way to find out if you think you'd mesh with someone is to look them up on social media. See what their life's like, see if you guys have common interests. I think it's really important because as a real estate agent, I mean, I have people that I've been working with for a year, and we see each other, you know, once a week. I've been through them having babies, maybe getting married, getting divorced, and so, you know, we talk about a lot of stuff. And so if they didn't like me, I feel like that may be a painful experience for them. So I think that social media allows us to kind of show who we are, and then people, you know, want to work with people they like, so it's helpful. And if you're likable, it's even more helpful.
Well, if you end up going to my social media, don't judge a book by its cover, okay?
Okay.
Right. Can I get somebody to delete some photos and stuff for me? That'd be great. I guess for you, how do you go about attacking social media and getting to know clients?
Social media is very important. So when I first got into real estate, I was hitting social media very hard so people knew that I was a realtor, because, you know, I just got into the business. So a lot of friends and family are like, he's new, he doesn't know what he's doing. But if I'm showing my experience going through inspections, negotiating, getting to a closing, that mind share creates in their head, he's doing pretty well. And that's what really started to drive my business. So continually to doing those things will really help your business.
Are there any favorites out there, you know, whether it be pages, other realtors probably don't want to do that, but who knows, you know, if you can find leads, whatever it may be, that you do like to follow, mortgage companies and Hall Financial, social media, unbelievable, that you get tips, ideas, you know, things that maybe you can use in your own business?
I think at the end of the day, with the way that technology is, we all have to continue to learn and grow. So we do kind of all have to monitor each other and make sure, you know, that we are getting the best social media out there presence-wise, because somebody in California could be doing something completely new, and it's like, who here is going to be able to do that? So we got to kind of, you know, keep an eye on all other realtors as well. But how do we make it better, and how can we stand out?
I follow a lot of like interior design people as well, like AK Renovate or House of Lauren, Spoiled Home, because when I'm in houses, I like to tell people like, hey, I know that this looks ugly now, but like look at this Instagram page, look at the before and after, look what she did, and kind of give them ideas, you know, look what the difference it can be from painting the cabinets from like that ugly, you know, old honey brown to white, and this would look amazing. So kind of just giving them ideas and also keeping me fresh and like up on trends so that I can talk about, you know, just even tile. I follow the tile shop. I mean, I just like that stuff, right? So I can tell them like, oh, this is a cool new mosaic that's just coming out and you can only get it here, here, and here. I think that adds to value. So I try to always stay like on trend.
I'd be curious to know how creativity works for you guys. I mean, it's interesting because you have a passion, it seems, for what can I do with this space, or what could you know, the client do with this space. I guess, is it easier or harder to sell a house that's empty, or to try to sell a house that has things in it maybe that the client doesn't necessarily like, but hey, you could change this, you could paint that.
Yeah.
Is it more difficult either way, I guess?
I think it depends on the client, because you have some clients who already have that. They walk into a space and they automatically are like, oh, like let's blow out walls and paint everything white, And then I have other clients who just can't get past like an ugly tile on the floor. So I think it depends on them. We do a buyer's consult with all of our clients. So I walk them through the steps and I tell them, like, I'm gonna bring you pictures, I'm gonna show you what you can do with the space. It also has to do with how long they're gonna be in the space and their budget. So if we're looking at $300,000 houses, but I show you a $200,000 house that we can put money into and build a lot of equity, then that's my job, is to bring that to them so that they're making good financial decisions.
I guess for you, creativity in trying to, I guess, show the vision of what a home could be.
So I mean, like you go from a first-time home buyer to an investor. Everybody's mind is so different. But if I can give them that creativity and that vision, they will appreciate that much more and be able to kind of picture a vacant home with this wall knocked down or with a brand new kitchen. But there's a lot of those buyers out there that just like, I don't want to do anything. I need move-in ready, everything. Not one thing I don't want to do.
I'm one of those. It was turnkey. I got the keys, I think, on a Tuesday morning, and by Wednesday afternoon, everything was in. I didn't have to do anything. It was all ready to go. Yep. Probably just because I'm lazy and have no idea what I'm doing. So as far as, we can talk about me, I guess, for a second. It's pretty gloomy outside. It's nasty, although it's been, not nearly as snowy this winter. Why is now, in the winter, a good time to buy as opposed to maybe waiting a few months when, it's all nice and you can move everything in the sun?
There's inventory that's out there right now. It's still a seller's market, but there's a lot of deals that could be had right now. Interest rates are low, and we're in an election year, so interest rates should generally stay low. But when you wait till that spring market, there's a ton of buyers, and especially families that are looking to move their kids to a new school district. They're gonna look in the spring and summer. So you're going up against multiple offers continuously, and to get that feeling that you didn't win that house 10 times does not feel good for the buyer. So if you start now, maybe battling versus one, or there's no offers on it and you can take advantage of negotiating the price now.
I think right now, just like it's gloomy outside, who wants to go and look at houses for fun, right? In the summer, you're looking at people that are like, if I find one, I'd like it. It's a beautiful day. Let's go check it out. In the winter, like trudging through the snow in snow boots, usually are pretty serious. And the people who are putting their houses on the market because that they still believe, like, I'll wait till spring. People that are selling in the winter usually have a reason to sell, right? They need to relocate, or they're just ready. They've already found their dream house. So again, negotiating with them tends to be a little bit easier. It's not somebody who just said, let's put a sign in the yard and see what happens.
I was somebody who, when I started looking for my house, I think it was the first property that I toured, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I toured 4 other homes, and I was just like, yeah, but what about that one? I really did like that. We looked at it again, sold, and it literally all happened within a month and a half.
Yeah.
First house, yeah. It was it, right? I knew what I wanted, and it made it easy. But for some people, it's not. And in that process, I had friends who had gone 3 years looking for the home that they wanted. They had very specific needs, okay? And so I'm sitting here going, month and a half, it was easy, nothing to think about. How do you, I guess, navigate the burnout factor for clients? You just mentioned getting turned down, you put an offer in, rejected, somebody else beat you. How do you handle that and just, hey, you know what? We're gonna find a space, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I think for me, all of us I learned a lot from Tony when I started doing a really good buyer's consult at the beginning and asking a lot of questions and finding out what they want so that we can always circle back to that. Because sometimes it's, the perfect house may be out there, but your perfect house maybe 10 years from now, this may be the house to get you to that perfect house, right? And maybe it's a really good financial decision. So having that conversation and knowing as an agent going forward what you're looking for. And houses come up every day. I don't think there's a special number like 10, or I show somebody 10 houses and then we find one. I've taken people to one house and they've written the offer and I've said, like, are you sure you don't want to look at any others? I feel kind of awkward. And they're like, no, this is the one. And then I've taken people to 50 houses and we're still looking. So it's not a special, a magic number, because everyone's different, everyone's unique.
Is there a certain, spiel, a line you have for clients who are maybe getting a little bit flustered, frustrated that they can't find the property that's perfect for them at that time?
so many different answers on
I
that
know,
one.
I normally it's
Every person is so different that there's a different answer. Like you gotta kind of like what I try to do is try and match to each client based on like their voice tones or the speed of the way they talk. So you gotta adapt. And each person's vision is so different. But when they go through that heartbreak, we're there to kind of pick them up. Like it's not over. Houses are always going to be here. That's why we tell them beforehand at the buyer consult, do not fall in love with any houses until appraisal is done. So you still get your inspection, that's a rough road, and then appraisal, that's another rough road. So you gotta make sure we get past all those things, and then you can fall in love with it. Then we can start, you wanna go do measurements for your furniture? That's what, make sure appraisal's done. So doing all those things, letting them know up front, don't fall in love, keep an even keel throughout the process will really help them. But if they start, like, you can't control some people when they're like absolutely in love and they cry, like literally they cry on the phone, like with us, and we're kind of like therapists too in a way, which is fun. It makes us closer and that bond grows stronger. So I
had a really good friend call me and said, my husband thinks you're gonna fire us. And I was like, well, one, you're my really good friend. You're at my wedding, so I'm not gonna fire you. And I would never. She's like, well, I feel like we're so picky, and I feel like we're never gonna find a house. And I was like, do you like looking at houses with me? She said, yeah. I said, well, I like looking at houses with you, so let's just keep doing it until we find the right house, right? Like, let's keep narrowing it down and find what works best.
So it really is a relationship, basically, that you guys are forming with clients.
Yeah.
So I was a scared little puppy a couple of years ago, 2.5 years ago when I bought my first house. I had no idea what I was doing. I don't know anything about this, right? And I was the love at first sight, here, first property. All right, this is great. I can put the TV there, But I guess what is the biggest question or the most common question that you get from the first-time home buyer, a little bit nervous, doesn't really know what to do?
I think like the number one question everyone always asks is, can I get pre-approved? Can I get a mortgage? And I think a lot of people don't realize they don't have to put 20% down. There's programs where you put 3.5% down, FHA, 3% down. You could have a credit score of like 580 and still get approved. Like, it's just that it's such a big purchase that people are scared, but there's no reason to be scared. Just go talk to a lender, go talk to Hall Financial, and they will get you pre-approved or give you the steps of, hey, do this, and then in 3 months, you'll be good. But, they're there to help you, guide you to that closing table.
Is there any
No, it's the same thing. It's always like, where do I start?
Yeah.
Like, here, call this person, get pre-approved.
Do you recommend that before you even go into the process, I guess, of trying to fall in love with that property that you want, the type of house?
I definitely recommend it because homes will accept FHA, but some homes will not accept an FHA loan or a VA loan. So that's why we need to know what we're looking for. Plus, with FHA and VA, they require certain repairs. So we need to kind of be able to look at that while I'm at the showing. Hey, FHA is going to call this trip hazard out. They're going to call this lead-based paint out. Those are things I need to know, because if it's just a regular conforming conventional loan, there's not those steps required versus FHA, VA. So it's vital for us to know, what your loan type is.
Well, the market's moving so fast right now. It's like going to the mall without a purse, right? You're gonna find a dress and it's on sale and you can't buy it. And so
I hate when that happens.
Right,
It's
yeah,
the worst.
the sparkly ones. So I always tell people, I'm gonna take you, I'll take you, but you can't be mad at me if you can't write an offer. I'm really fortunate in that I work with great lenders like Hall Financial. Henry can get somebody approved pretty quickly, and he's always working. Like, I don't think he sleeps, but I really don't. I'll call him on Saturday and he can get me a pre-approval in like 5 hours or shorter. But I feel like if we go out shopping and you don't have your purse, if you don't have that pre-approval, you're going to find the house that you love, and it's gonna be really difficult because houses are going so fast right now. And I think some people are intimidated, one, to call an agent because they think like, they're gonna be calling me all the time, or I don't wanna bother them. I get that a lot. Like, if I can't buy a house, I don't wanna bother you. And then they're scared about calling a lender because they think it's gonna be this huge thing. And I'm like, they're all nice, just call them. It's a phone call and it can answer so many questions, because if you can't get pre-approved, they may have steps to get you there sooner. It's like, trying to fix your credit without a roadmap is silly. it just doesn't make sense. You know, you're not gonna bake a cake without a recipe, so let's try to like have them tell you like pay off this, get this paid down so you can get pre-approved, then we can start looking at houses.
I remember when I was going through the process, I knew I didn't want to be quote unquote house broke. I didn't want my my mortgage payment to be almost all of my monthly income. I wanted to make sure that, okay, it was reasonable. Could I afford a bigger house? Sure. Do I need the bigger house right now? No, I want to be able to save money, go on vacations, play golf, hang out with Henry on the golf course. So that was important to me. You can obviously get approved for what you make and what your credit score is. Is there ever, I guess, any advice or advisement from you guys? Okay, what kind of lifestyle do you want to live? Okay, yes, you can afford that, but maybe if you're somebody who's on the go and wants to go and be doing things, spending money at restaurants, maybe you want to go with lesser of a property. Are those conversations going on with you guys too?
I think for sure. I always ask people what do they feel comfortable with their monthly payment, and then we can ask the mortgage people to reverse engineer it. That's a great place to start, and then we can see if they're comfortable, they've been paying rent at a certain rate, and if they're comfortable with $100 more, whatever it is, then we can kind of tailor it. Now, once people know what they're approved to, right, then their taste gets more expensive.
Yeah.
Once they know, then they want to shop for more house. So I sometimes have to kind of reel people back in, like, wait a second, you told me that this is what you wanted to spend. Stop sending me those houses that are more expensive than that, because I'll sell you one if you really want it, but I can only talk somebody down so many times.
Yeah, that's the same thing. Is a lot of first-time home buyers, especially, they're looking at these, they're pre-approved. What's my max? I always tell them, ask the lender, if I get a $200,000 property or a $400,000 property, what's the payment? And then break it down from there. But if you go out and, if you set that goal and say, I only want to spend $2,000 a month on my mortgage, then the lender will be able to tell you what your purchase power is versus, hey, go to the lender and just saying, what am I approved for? And then you find out $600,000, and then you start looking at $600,000. That's when you become house poor, is when those people don't budget their money properly. So we make sure to do that beforehand with that buyer consult. It's very important to have that conversation so we fully understand what their wants and needs are, but as well as for us to advise them on what's best for their scenario. If you're trying to move to Ferndale, Royal Oak, trying to party all the time, fresh out of college, are you gonna have enough money to go out and party? Yeah. To go have drinks, go have a nice dinner. That's the biggest struggle, I think, with the first-time home buyers. They're always looking at houses that are above what they had set a goal with me. And I'll tell them, stop, because you're never gonna find a house if you keep looking at houses $100,000 more than what you want me to find you. Because that makes it a little difficult for us. So if we hone them back down, they definitely understand. Everyone's a lot more reasonable at that point.
So once you get to the finish line, is there, okay, so the client says, hey, this is the house, this is what I want. Is there a line? Is there something that you want them to do? Think about, hey, sleep on it. Is there, I guess, something that, you guys, a technique maybe that you use to just make sure that the client really does want to purchase this home, that they are settled on?
I always ask people to rate the home, and I give them a scale at the beginning, and I say 1 to 10. If it's 5 or under, we're not buying that house because you don't like it. But then between there, it kind of depends on, is it getting it for the right price? If somebody tells me 10, I know I can't lose this house for them. But I tend to find that people just linger more. Once they like a house, they start, we've seen the house, we're standing in the kitchen, they're like, I really like it. Oh, I want to check out the pantry again. Oh, let's go look at the master shower. They just start wanting to re-look at stuff or start looking at things that they never cared about before. How much drawer space, where would we put our toothbrush? When they start picturing themselves there, I'm like, oh, they want to buy this house. Yeah.
I think that's the same thing. Hers is a 1 to 10 scale. I do what's called an 80-20, which I learned from somebody else, another realtor of mine. He calls it an 80-20 rule. 80% of the house you love, 10% you can deal with, 10% you can fix. If that meets the criteria, that's a house we need to put an offer in, because you don't want to sleep on it. And then 3 days go by and that house is gone. Then you're like, why didn't you tell me to put an offer in? It's I did. You have that 7-day inspection period to still sleep on it and think about it and do your inspection, and you still have a way out. It's not that once you put an offer in, you're stuck with that house and you get it, you're not. You have your due diligence period to really make sure the house, checks all boxes for you.
But you're never gonna find the house that checks every box. I think that's a great point. There's going to be something that you don't really like, but you know what, maybe there's a way to fix it. Maybe there's a way down the line to go about, getting that thing right. I guess in the industry, you said you kind of fell into it. You've certainly been doing this for a while, but was there someone specific that kind of, I don't know, open your eyes to, being a realtor, to forming this relationship with clients? And at this point, is there a mentor, somebody you lean on, or somebody you look up to?
I had like previous business mentors that were just like really hammering me to like give good customer service. And then I had another guy named Greg who was my my partner in a previous job, and he taught me all about negotiation. As far as real estate goes, I kind of followed my mentors to Motus. Tony was really helpful with me getting my real estate license, and then when we went to a sales conference, just saying like, you have to do this, you're gonna be good at it, and like this will be life-changing. Mark on our team was also like, I think we kind of just all compiled ourselves, like we play off each other really well. Like Mark taught me a ton about real estate and running comps, and Casey, who was here earlier, taught me a ton about how to be good on the phone, what to say, how to prospect. So from all of those people, I think it was really good. And then just realtors that helped me buy my house previously were really helpful. But I'm lucky because I kind of got to follow them here. And so, I text and call them all the time, like every day. What do you guys think about this? Can you help me with this? Like, is this the right thing to say? And we're constantly learning from each other.
Yeah, for me, there's so many people that I can name off that have really mentored me, but everybody brings a different trait that has taught me in real estate. There's a few that are out there that have taught me everything I know, but as we continue to grow, other realtors have to grow as well. So I think it opens my boundaries a little bit by kind of mind sharing with everybody. So I'm kind of like, with our team, we all bring a different characteristic. But outside of the world, trying to stay positive with other co-oping agents is huge because they could bring value to me in a way. I could go get a cup of coffee, go have lunch with them. We can, put our minds together. What else can we do to be better? And that conversation is happening every week with another agent. That's not on our team. So I'm always out there relationshiping with as many people as I can.
Let's do really quick before we do this rapid fire segment. I want to just give you guys 30 seconds, 45 seconds if you want. Just talk directly into that camera, like you're talking to him over there. Just, if I had to sit here and say, hey, what would you want a client to know? Why should a client call you?
Sorry, what was it?
Why would a client?
Why should a client call you? Why should you be the first phone call? And what I'm putting you on the spot right now, but I think it'll be a good 30 to 45 seconds for you to just promote yourself, Motus, and everything.
I guess I'll go first. You want to go first?
It's up to you.
You go first.
I don't even know. No, I do. But if you're thinking about purchasing a home, give me a call, Tony Tran. I've sold over 35 million in volume and helped over 150 families. I take care as if you were my family, making sure to check for the inspection things that we don't want you to have to spend money on inspection appraisal and waste that $1,000 and find out that you have to put $20,000 in a home. I will pre-check all those things for you to make sure that you're buying a solid home.
All right. I would say for me, I'd want somebody to call me because I'm a super strong negotiator, but I'm part of a really great team. If I don't know the answer to your question, someone on my team does, and we work as a team, so you don't only get to meet with me and work with me, you get to work with Tony and Mark and Casey and Laura and Catherine, and we all are super strong. You're never getting a second best. I think that we all work really, really hard to make sure that we bring our best for our clients every single day, and that's our goal, is to be the best. So.
All right, let's do a rapid fire segment. All right, first, the number one question you get from someone that is buying a home.
Can I get pre-approved?
Yeah. Is this one right for me? They just asked me.
All right. Number one question you get from someone selling a property.
What should I do before I sell?
Number one question? Yeah. I was gonna give their answers all the time. I want this much for my house. Well, number one question, what I want to know, like pre-shop, pre-list, what should I do to them?
Fix the holes in the wall.
Yeah.
All right, next, best part of your job?
Hanging out with my clients.
Being with my team and building relationships with every client.
Worst part of your job, and you can't say me.
Sometimes the hours. We work a lot. Like, I'm available 9 to 9 or 7 to 9, 7 days a week.
I would say it is a 24/7 hour job, so we're nonstop working. It could be at dinner and I have to get up and leave a family dinner and have to take an hour phone call.
Okay. Up and coming neighborhood in Metro Detroit if you had to pinpoint one.
I'd probably say Oak Park.
I'll go Hazel Park.
I like that. Hazel Park guy. Keep investing, people, all right? Advice you'd give to someone thinking about becoming a realtor?
I would say join a team to start at the beginning. You can learn a lot and you get a ton of experience right away.
I would say the same thing. Join a team and have a very high producing mentor that knows what they're doing. Yeah.
All right, and lastly, favorite thing to do in Ferndale?
I like getting calamari from Dino's. I used to live in Ferndale and now I live in Rochester, so that's like my favorite treat.
Pig and Whiskey Festival was my favorite.
Who doesn't love that, right? Well, I appreciate you guys spending time with me. Sam Hillery, Tony Tran, check them out at Motus Real Estate right here, powered by eXp Realty in Ferndale. You'll hear me soon.